Hey everybody, welcome to the Hopcast.
Thanks for joining us once again. We are on location, baby.
Right, I'm Brad Chmielewski.
My name is Ken Hunnemeder, and we have a special guest. This is Elise.
Hi, I'm Elise.
Elise is going to drink some beers with us today, and I'm glad that we chose her randomly. She volunteered, and I'm glad that you did, because we've come across some cardinal sins when it comes to drinking beer. And we want to teach you guys what some of those are. And
so first off, she was chewing gum.
Yes. She was chewing gum. So get rid of the gum.
Get rid of it.
She was also drinking straight from the bottle. So we got her a nice clean glass, and she's going to drink it out of the glass.
As soon as you open the beer, pour it in a glass, unless you're within miles of a glass. If you're on the beach or something like that, then okay. Yeah. Or straight from the can. Can is okay.
All right, so going into what we're drinking today, we've got some wonderful beers that have been provided by Metropolitan Brewing. If you haven't even heard of them, they are a brand new brewery. They've been in operation for about a year, and they're right here in Chicago, up in Ravenswood. So
very, very local for us.
Absolutely, and so we want to thank them for providing their delicious beers. And it's quite a treat because they make some styles that everyone's very familiar with. They're an all lager brewery.
Right. And so lagers, the cold fermented beer. We have ales and lagers.
Right. That's the big. You've got beer. Beer's the big umbrella, and then they're separated into two different categories, being ales and lagers. And so basically, these will be in the same style, but not the same realm of your typical Bud Light and Miller Lite, but these are actually quality drinks. So
they have flavor, hops, all the stuff you want to see in your beer.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I'll go ahead and say I am drinking their Flywheel, which is right here, and Elise is as well.
I am drinking the Flywheel.
Okay.
And I have the Dynamo, which is that one, which is their copper lager.
And so, why don't you go ahead and start out, since it's the winter time, and usually you're gonna drink the copper lager, the Dynamo, in the winter.
Right. So the copper's a little darker. It's more roasted malts. I believe it has a little more alcohol too.
It could be slightly higher. Yeah. But yeah, you'll notice the difference in the color right here, and how you get that is it's just a difference of how long they roast those malts. So I mean that's where you get your Guinnesses and stuff. Those are roasted to the point where they're basically burnt. And that's where you get your stouts and your porters.
And we love this beer. We love Metropolitan. We've had them on the show before, and one of our favorites.
Yeah, so big shout out to Tracy and Doug. And so with that color, you're also going to get a little bit of caramelly notes to it in the flavor as well.
Right. So first you want to smell your beer. What is it? Like what percent is all smell or all taste to smell? Like
yes. That's exactly why you want to pour your beer into a glass, is because when you have a cold, you can't taste anything, So you want to be able to smell that beer. Get your nose right in there and smell it. That's going to allow you to taste it better. If you're drinking Miller Lite, then don't even worry about it because there's no flavor anyways.
So yeah, the Dynamo is definitely more roast. You get those malts, a little sweeter than the Flywheel.
And they're all going to come in with that lager characteristic, which is a more crisp beer as opposed to an ale, which usually is a little bit fruity, complex. And this is just, these are some clean drinking, really nice beers, just like almost like lawnmower beers, weekend warrior beers, where you just like, you can have a ton of them, right?
Very sessionable.
Yeah, I've had lawn mowing beers.
Yes.
Yes, I mow the lawn all the time. And I always drink a beer.
Always drink a beer when I mow the lawn.
You're on your riding lawnmower, you got one hand on the wheel, one hand holding the beer.
All right, so moving along, I'm drinking the Flywheel, which is their bright lager, and it's going to have, their malts on this beer are going to be not hardly toasted at all. So you're going to see it's a much clearer, like a straw color, like hay. And this is going to impart more of like a clean, crisp type of thing. It goes along with the lager. This is kind of in the Pilsner style. And it's also really good, it's just like in the summertime. I know for a fact that Metropolitan goes through a lot more Dynamo in the winter than they do in the summer, where they go through a lot more flywheel. So is anyone drinking the flywheel out there?
Yeah, I see a few of them
I
out
see a
there.
few, yeah.
Yeah.
And so you guys noticed kind of the same thing.
And then a couple people have the crankshaft. Saw that going around, which is their Kolsch beer.
Yeah, Metropolitan features 3 beers in bottles, Flywheel, Dynamo, and also their crankshaft, which is a Kolsch, which is technically an ale, but it's brewed like a lager, so that it's kind of like almost halfway in between.
It's confusing. It gets confusing.
Are you staying with us?
I am with you.
Elise is with us, which is
Any
more than I
questions?
Are you enjoying the beer?
I am. I really like beer, and I actually like this a lot. And it's funny that it looks a lot like ones that you were mentioning that have no taste. And there's so much taste in there. So.
Yeah, so that's like, you know,
Those
that's something.
Millweisers.
But it still feels light. It's just it's got a lot of flavor in that.
And that's the sign of a true good brew. If you're going to have some good flavor, don't judge a book by its cover just because it looks like one of those other beers. It's so much more. So props to Doug for coming up with that beautiful recipe there.
Well, I think we should just keep drinking, hang out here, let's create, talk some beer with some people off camera.
Yeah, so come on up, and anyone has any beer-related questions, we are all ears, and we'll do our best.
So thank you to Let's Create for having us here, Blue Frog for putting on the event.
And stay tuned for Merry Karaoke at 8 o'clock. Drink a lot of Flywheel, a lot of Dynamo, and I want to see you crazies.
Check us out, hop-cast.com, at Hopcast on Twitter. We do live Ustreams. We're all over the place.
And thanks to Elise for joining us today.